Hi, my name is Cara Miller, and welcome to Trailblazers, a celebration of people of color who've achieved extraordinary things. Today I'm speaking with Alrick Riley. He's the first black British director to win a Bafta. He won 2. He's directed Cops, Spooks, Hustle, Hotel Babylon, you name it, and he's one of Britain's most sought-after television directors. Welcome, Alrick.
Hello.
Really glad to have you here.
Thank you.
We all know you're an extremely successful director, but a little bit of digging showed me that you were also quite a successful child actor. How on earth did that come about?
It came about because as a child I was very shy, and my parents thought a good way of getting myself out of myself, if you like, was to send me to a drama club. That's a drama club, not a drama school. So I went in the evenings for 2 evenings a week, and that's how I got into drama on a serious kind of level.
And why did you leave?
Well, I noticed that particularly after Scum, which I did when I was 16, the sort of roles which were on offer are really very sort of stereotypical. Pseudo Rastafarians, muggers, thieves, and I knew that I didn't want to do those roles. I also knew at the same time that I didn't really want to be an actor, but I also knew that I would definitely, absolutely wanted to stay in the business.
In the business?
In the business. Didn't know what, but I definitely wanted to stay somewhere in the arts.
And how do you come from wanting to stay somewhere in the arts to then becoming a director at a time when nobody else who was looking like you was becoming a director?
Well, first thing I have to say that my experience on Scum, it was directed by Alan Clark. I'd already had quite a lot of experience working with different directors over the years. And he was the first one who spoke with a Cockney accent, who just spoke to us on a level, and who was really interested in getting us to be very naturalistic in our performances. And a friend of mine suggested that we just buy a camera, because he was interested in the arts as well, he was interested in television. And so we bought an 8mm camera at the time, which most people don't use nowadays, and that's how we got involved in filmmaking. That's how I got involved in filmmaking.
I have a question about your parents and this dream of making films and becoming a director. So your 2 parents, where do they come from?
They're from Jamaica.
They're from Jamaica. When you told them, Mom, Dad, I'm going to be a director, how was that received?
Well, I think that for my mom it was a bit tough, because she really wanted to be, well, I wanted to be a journalist for a short time, and she really wanted me to be a newsreader. She wanted me to be like Trevor McDonald. That was the role, because he was there, he'd already done it. That shows that there was a path that one could follow and achieve as a black person, and so she had it kind of mapped out in her head. Whereas for direction, there was no path. There were no other black UK directors working in a commercial sense at the time. So it was quite tough. And so she really insisted that I kept up my link to Anisha Children's Theatre, and that of course I kept up with education.
Brilliant. So you went to West Midlands College, and then you went to the very prestigious National Film and Television School, the NFTS. What happened there?
Well, okay, I went to the National Film and Television School and I did documentary. I really absolutely loved it. But after that first year, I really felt that I really wanted to do fiction. Yes, and so I wasn't giving up on documentary. So my fiction films are very informed by my documentary education. And my first short was very much about being on the streets, being on the move, shot in black and white, very newsreel type, but it was a fiction film.
Yes, and it won loads of awards. And then you went on to make Concrete Garden.
Yes. I really wanted to show that I was interested in the whole side, the whole thing of filmmaking, not just one style. And so Concrete Garden was a very sort of poetic, realist film.
Yes, I saw that film 10 years ago, and it blew my mind. I'd never seen West Indian people portrayed on film like that. I felt that you had just taken a camera and gone to some of my own family and just shot a kind of very beautiful filmic documentary that didn't look like a documentary. It was real, and yet it looked like a movie.
Dear Mama, I did nearly lick down my brother last week. I roll up my fist, but then I remember what you did say. Even if I'm stupid, him is still my brother. I miss your mama. Hope you're fine. Your loving granddaughter, Marcia.
It wasn't always easy for you, though, was it?
Well, you know, when you're having a discussion like this, you know, you always say, you know, how one thing always seems to move on to the next thing, and everything is in nice little steps and stages. And of course, it's absolutely nothing like that. You know, there are big disappointments on the way. There are times when you're going backwards. There are times when you've got no money. There are times when you really want to be creative and you can't. So you have to do other things for a while. And so, you know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
And did the lack of black director role models in this country affect you in any way? No. And it didn't, because I felt that, you know, when I go to watch a film and I enjoy the film, I don't ask whether that director or writer was black or white. I'm only interested in whether I like the film or not, whether the film is good or not, whether the film challenges me or not. That's the feeling behind my whole motivation in this business, really. And so it didn't really affect me, although it has to be said that my favorite films happen to be by black directors. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Coppola, of Scorsese, and they're all fantastic, brilliant people. But I also am a huge fan of Charles Burnett, who made Killer of Sheep and To Sleep with Anger. To Sleep with Anger is probably one of my favorite films of all time. What was it like for you to win a BAFTA? 2 BAFTAs even.
Well, you know, I don't really think about it like that. I think that, you know, winning awards is great on the night that you win them, because you meet all of these fantastic people, and it was, I think, to be fair, is much more important to have worked with Tony Garnett. He's the exec producer of The Cops, for which the BAFTA was ultimately won. BAFTA is fine, it's great, get it, move on.
Could you tell me about Spooks and Hustle, the experience of working on these 2 groundbreaking British television series?
Well, gosh, it's hard to start, really, because I think that, okay, if I talk about what attracts me to Spooks and Hustle, yes, what attracts me to Spooks is that essentially the production company and just the whole way that the whole show is approached, it's very much like a feature film. Yes, we don't have the finances of a feature film, but it's expected to look like a feature film. Our protagonists, our cast, are saving the world every week. Yes, and so the stories, the size of the stories, the size of the effects, the size of the shots needs to reflect that. We're very, very influenced indeed, of course, by American films, by CSI, by 24, by all of those kinds of shows. And so we really want to do something which is slick and fast moving, that could almost be a film. Yes, and
I think you do manage that.
Thank you. Well, that's what I enjoy the most. That's what attracts me so much to Spooks. And Hustle is the same way. Hustle came out of Ocean's 11. Yes, that was the idea. That's where the idea originated or was generated from. And so the idea is to make that look as slick and as pacey and as good looking as a movie shot in LA.
What's next for Alrick Riley?
Well, I think I want to continue directing. That's what I love doing. I want to direct bigger shows. I like to direct films, and that's the sort of channel that I'm moving on. I like to direct shows which are original dramas to television. That's the next stage.